Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to unpack the absolutely incredible rise of the OPM duo Sweenotes. We're looking at how they took a career-halting lockdown and completely transformed it into digital superstardom. It's a wild ride, so let's get right into it. Picture this, okay? Imagine singing your heart out to absolutely nobody. Just rows and rows of empty chairs in a Shanghai hotel lobby. That was actually their reality just a few short years ago. Now, contrast that image with millions of fans streaming their music worldwide today. It's night and day. So how exactly do you make a leap like that? Section 1. Trapped by the pandemic, the catalyst for change. So Charlotte and BJ met and got married down in General Santos City before heading off to work as performers in China. But then, a routine vacation back home in 2019 turned into this indefinite, terrifying stay when the 2020 lockdowns hit. What was supposed to be a quick one-month break turned into a total, complete halt to their livelihood. Literally trapped.
Now you have to understand, they're what you'd call an OG sequencer band. If you aren't familiar with that term, it basically means singers who perform using pre-recorded or canned band accompaniment rather than playing with live instrumentalists. And because of this, they really struggled at first. The local scene at the time just didn't fully appreciate this style, which left them with very few options to actually make a living.
Section 2. The Viral Bar Live Stream, October 2021.
140,000. Just let that number sink in for a second. During a live stream at Fishcot Bar in Shenzhen, they were singing to a grand total of 7 viewers online. 7. But then, an unknown vlogger shared their video, and that single random share completely skyrocketed their audience from those 7 viewers to 140,000 almost instantly. No way, right? It's crazy.
Talk about the ultimate spark of digital word of mouth. They literally went from just 700 followers to over 10,000 practically while they slept. It was an overnight explosion, and it was exactly the momentum they needed to get off the ground.
Section 3. 2 years daily uploads. The hustle behind the hype.
But here's the thing. They didn't just sit back and rely on viral luck. To survive the thick of the pandemic, they did regular live streams and flashed an e-wallet number for tips, which was heavily supported by generous overseas Filipino workers. But the real game changer? They committed to an absolutely exhausting grind. They uploaded a new video on YouTube and Facebook every single day for 2 straight years. They figured out that the algorithm favored consistency, so they just fed it, day in and day out. And wow, did that relentless daily consistency pay off? It compounded their audience into the millions. To put this explosive growth into perspective, they went from that 10,000 follower mark in 2021 to a massive 4 million Facebook followers and nearly 2.4 million YouTube subscribers by 2024. All from just putting in the work every single day. Section 4. Crafting the perfect sound. Studio quality from home. While hitting upload every day was crucial, their true secret sauce was the audio. As BJ put it later, I started recording audio for live concerts. I just made it at home. You see, it really bothered him when he'd hear their covers playing on low-quality speakers in local thrift shops and public spaces. So he took matters into his own hands and taught himself meticulous audio mixing to get that studio-level sound right out of their living room. What's really brilliant is how minimalist their visual setup was. It was literally just Charlotte recording on a steady tripod using one single camera angle. That was it. And that simplicity allowed BJ's self-taught audio magic to completely take center stage. There were no flashy, over-the-top video edits to hide behind. The music just had to speak for itself. Now, with millions of people tuning in, their massive success singing covers has actually sparked some pretty interesting discussions online, specifically about how artists navigate the really complex world of OPM, original Filipino music, royalties. It brings up a huge question. Do sequencer cover bands actually pay royalties for their live public performance? Just looking at the facts neutrally here, by law, authorization is indeed required for public performances. The industry generally relies on local collection agencies, like PhilSCAP, to bill major platforms like Facebook directly for the digital side of things. However, when you get into navigating foreign versus local rights for public, ticketed concerts, well, that remains a pretty tricky, complex maze to navigate. Section 5. Healing through Sweenotes. Beyond the views. But beyond all the algorithms and legalities, they realized their music was having a very real, profound impact. There's this amazing story from a rainy meet and greet at the Mall of Asia. A fan who had traveled through the storm told them that listening to Sweenotes actually cured their severe depression and anxiety. Just hearing that single interaction elevated their whole mission into something deeply purposeful, almost spiritual.
It's wild to think about. What started as just a simple way to pass the time and earn some basic income to survive the COVID-19 lockdowns completely transformed. It became a powerful source of healing for their entire community. It really just proves that music is so much more than entertainment. For some, it's an absolute lifeline.
And their relentless hustle absolutely paid off in physical, practical ways, too. They went from riding in the rain on a single motorcycle, lugging around a heavy guitar, to getting a Japan surplus minivan, and now they own very comfortable personal vehicles. But the coolest part? They use these resources to actually travel and give back. They regularly conduct remote outreach programs, supporting indigenous communities and those affected by natural calamities.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this provocative thought to chew on. What hidden talents could a sudden pause in your life force you to share with the world? Because as we've seen with Sweenotes, sometimes being completely grounded is the only way to finally take off. Thank you so much for learning with me today.